Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Comics and Variety with the Indie Comic Stream. Again, I've got Revolution with me. How are you, Alexander?
I'm great. How are you today?
Couldn't be better. And our guest tonight is LahKem Amiyr. How are you doing, LA?
I'm great. Just ready to have a little fun.
Yeah, well, LA is going to be drawing the Jack of Diamonds, which will be part of the deck of the special deck of cards that you can buy via the Tilt 2 campaign. And speaking of the Tilt, not Toot, Tilt campaign here, let's see. We are looking really good right now. $999 in the first 24 hours. Anyone watching? All you have to do is buy just the PDF, and I'm over 1,000 for my first day, which is hey, exactly where I want to be. Really beyond where I want to be on the first day.
Congratulations!
So, thanks, man. Almost a quarter funded, and yeah, thank you. So things are. Yeah, things have just been started off really good, and let's just keep it rolling. Alrighty, let's start out with just also a little bit of fun here. Always my favorite, Steve Inman.
Well, you can obviously tell
he is so hilarious.
On a quad because of this, as he launches himself into the skies and right into the depths of hell once again. Chaz, when will you ever learn, buddy? You can see right here, Darren is just chilling out. He's like, let's get the hell out of here. I wish somebody would make me a sandwich because Karen never makes me a sandwich. Then all of a sudden, booyah, gets right out of the way. Chaz will end up with a mouthful of chunky metal and summer teeth because some are there and now some are gone. Well, you can obviously tell.
Oh yeah, this one's good too.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, as you can see, Chaz and Darren are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Chaz is obviously advertising his ass to this guy. This guy goes in with no hesitation at all and goes in for that rear naked poke, and it is all over. Chaz has been violated, and my God, get him some new pants there. They look ripped. Let's take a quick look at the replay. You can see here Chaz leaves himself exposed. Too much confidence. Never take your eyes off the enemy, especially in a situation like this, and he just goes for it. Full-on rear naked poke, violated in the middle of the street. His buddies leave him hanging. What a tragedy. Chaz is going to need some serious therapy after this one.
All righty. Let's see. LA, just let me go ahead.
No, Chaz.
What about Chaz?
I said poor Chaz.
Yeah, poor Chaz. All righty. The link to Tilt 2 is in the description below. LA, just go ahead and share your screen.
Oh, no, nothing but...
Still there? He's roboting a little bit. Alexander, you've muted.
Oh, yeah, because there's going to be noise in the background. Sorry about that. I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, LA, I think, is roboting, but hopefully he'll be back here in just a second. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit also about Chromosome 96, which was written and created by Miguel Ferreira. And we have yet to figure out why it's called Chromosome 96. I guess I could always go on Google and see if there's some particular reason. I mean, is Chromosome 96 some particularly Chromosome 96? what comes up. Now, if I push in Chromosome 96, all I get is the.
See, I
get the Indiegogo campaign. There's no.
Really.
Yeah, that's all it comes up with. It doesn't. There's no.
Because, I was thinking they initially wanted to do Chromosome 69, and then realized the publishers would roll their eyes at it, so just decided to leave it in there, but just reverse the numbers.
Well, that is as good a guess as any. So who knows? LA, are you there? Okay. Well, I'm going to add this to the stream, and yeah, I don't know if he's going to.
But yeah, I thought it was a really good book. I mean, I laughed, I cried, my eyes were opened. It was a beautiful experience. It was a horrible experience, and I mean, that little orange pustule that destroyed millions and millions of people in that comic book universe, he bashed his way into my heart, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Unfortunately, I cannot find my issue number 1 now, so all I was able to upload to my screen scan today was issue 2 and issue 3, and it's definitely. I'll say this: it's and this here was I really like this cover here, and there's a back to it as well. LA, are you there?
You have a secondary means of contacting him?
Well, he's. I can't unmute my guest. Their mic isn't connected. Oh boy. Yeah, LA, if you want to try dropping out and then coming back in, give that a shot, because we do want to see some of that art drawn tonight. And yeah, because we gave this a shot last night just as a test run. We didn't have anywhere near this problem. Oh boy. Well, that's all right. We'll get it. Oh, you're there?
Wait, okay. I heard something.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know why, but when I start sharing my screen, it automatically loses my mic. Let me put on a headset and see if that's better.
All right. Say this about Chromosome 96. It is definitely the type of art that it's I think derives from the sort of underground comic books. Art Crumb was
Art Crumb?
Yeah, who was very famous for his underground comics. That's definitely has inspired his art style has definitely inspired this. Now, this is not. Well, I mean, look up Art Crumb and some of his comics, and then compare that to this. Yeah, I'll say this: it's not exactly my type of art that I really like. I mean, it's okay, but that's not necessarily well, it's not a criticism of it. It's just not my personal preference. I mean, there's with art, there's an awful lot of subjectivity. There's not always objective standards, and this is just, in my opinion, one of those cases. It's not the art that I really like. But I know you really enjoyed it. So, like I said, there's a certain amount of subjectivity to it.
Yeah, I'm looking at Crumb's work, and I have to agree with you. I'm really surprised. This is like Cronenberg level of plasticity with his ability to draw shapes and concept stuff. I mean, this is beautiful. And I do like the kind of stretch and warp effects that are used over the course of the comic. I'm still going through stuff. Yeah, it's very, very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
I have to step away briefly. I'll be right back.
Does this
All
sound better?
righty. Yeah, I can sound. You sound great now.
But the only thing is,
Can you
you
share your
guys
screen?
are low. Let me see. I can barely hear you guys, but I'll share my screen though. Let's see if it cuts me off again.
You're roboting a bit, but we'll manage for a bit.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're very low, but I can hear you.
Let me turn this up a little.
Yeah.
Right. All right. You can see my
All right. Let's add the add your screen. Why is it not come? Come on. Oh, there we go. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Well, looks like you just started to ink around the eyes. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing there. Which it looks like your mic has cut out. So. Well, I tell you what, why don't we try this? Go ahead and keep inking, and like every minute or two, I will we'll drop the screen share out, and you can hopefully that'll bring your mic back, and then you can just tell us a little bit about what you're doing. And okay. This is the King of Diamonds, which will be, which is going to be part of the deck of cards for Tilt Part 2. There will be custom kings, queens, and jacks. Jeff Craven has done the jacks. Lenore King has done the queens. Well, thank you, King Toad Comics. Stop by and congrats on launch Tilt 2 and hit that like button. Can't wait to see how it does good, sir. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so there will be a deck of cards with custom kings, queens, and jacks. And LA here is doing the kings, and he's already completed the king of spades and king of hearts, and now is working on the king of diamonds. And yeah, and then after that, once we get those done, we're going to have him work on some of the trading cards, which will be available for the stretch goals. He and Luke Stone are going to be working on the trading cards. All righty here. Well, looks like we're getting some facial features here. All righty.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Unfortunately, we can watch LA here draw, but we can't hear what he has to say about it. So, well, it's fine. I think people just want to see the drawing, anyways. We'll drop out. We'll drop out the screen share in a little bit and have him just talk a little bit about the art that he's working on, and we'll do that. In the meantime, we can just talk a little bit more about Chromosome 96 if you want. Okay. I'll say this. I certainly, issues 2 and 3 were a little better in that they didn't have, quite. The one thing about issue 1, and I've seen this in a number of comics recently, is that there was too much, just too many words, by which I mean that they were constantly explaining things. And it just, at times it dragged on a little too long and maybe distracted from the story some. But it's not particularly. I mean, I'll say this: the plot is relatively simple. A military scientist creates this this big orange blob that turns into a humanoid creature and is out to destroy the world. And the military sends out all sorts of special soldiers to try to eliminate it. And it's very powerful. It's able to dispatch a lot of them, and then they finally get it in issue 3. But it does make me want to see what ends up happening in issue 4. So there was that, and anything else that I really just a little too wordy at the beginning. And the other thing I'm having a little trouble with, Alexander, is I'm not clear on who the protagonist is. Is it the orange blob humanoid? But he seems like the villain. None of the heroes, the actual superheroes, keep moving in and out, and a number of them get killed. So it really isn't one of them. Is it the military scientist? I mean, it's so there's not exactly anyone to be rooting for. Now, that's not necessarily always fatal, but it's good to kind of have an identifiable protagonist. So I would say on later issues, pick a character and make that character the protagonist. So
yeah, it was. I don't think there was a protagonist for this whole thing, because it seemed just to be a huge comedy of errors. So,
yeah, well, that's true.
I do think the later books were better written. Something about, like it was very much stripped down. You didn't really need to understand, the supposed complexities of the universe, because, it's like a Godzilla movie. Are you really looking to learn, about tectonic action, blah, blah, blah? No, you want to see a gigantic lizard wreck Tokyo. Right?
Yeah, no, I can get that. Sure. All righty. I'm gonna stop screen here real quick and see if remove from it. Now, can we hear you, LA? Your mic is muted. Let's try unmuting you. I can't unmute you from here. LA, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us just a little bit about what you're working on there.
I normally try to start with I swear after this show, I am definitely setting up my new setup, because this is so irritating. And yeah, but I normally try to start with the face to give me a feel for the character. And then that will feed into how his outfit is and things of that nature.
Okay.
And the face just gives you a feel for the spirit of the character, because what is it, the old Indian saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So once the character is looking back at me, it gives me a feel of how I should go about drawing the character's uniform or costume or whatever.
So you kind of think the costume and it reflects the face to some extent. Would that be accurate?
The opposite. I think
okay.
the emotion of the face and the character's hair and facial features really add. I think art is like a gumbo. A character is like gumbo, and every little piece of seasoning, where it be a face mask or a crown, or it just adds to the flavor of the character.
I like gumbo. Good.
Yes, me too.
Alrighty. Okay, let's come back to your share screen here in a minute, but I do need to spend a few minutes promoting Tilt here today.
Yes.
So let me talk about that. Alrighty.
I'm gonna try to hardline in. And that was a good suggestion. So let me try that and see if that works better.
Sure. I do corporate AV, so yeah, that's that should help.
Yeah, let me try that.
What is I'm ignorant on this. What is a Heartline?
Oh no, in other words, when we would do conferencing and stuff at the Ritz, they would always try to avoid doing streaming and stuff via wireless connections because even in a
hard line, sorry.
Yeah. Even in an area where let's say you have good signal, if you have too many devices in the same room, they can start to overlap and
interesting.
And you can have dropouts and whatnot. And it's better it's just better for consistency to hard line in, especially if you're on a network that is at regular peak usage. And I don't know if you have your own dedicated line for internet or what. So
interesting. Okay. Alrighty. This is the again, the link to Tilt 2 is in the description below. I'm at $999. I'd love for a viewer to be the next backer and push me right over 1,000. That would put me at exactly 25%, 1/4 of the way to my goal in the first 24 hours, which would be awesome. I just want to thank everyone who's backed it so far. I'm just super appreciative. It's hard to explain how nervous I was yesterday and how anxious, and even more so much more so, I think, than the first campaign. Because the first campaign, I'm nervous, but you're throwing caution to the wind. Okay, it's the first time out. If you fail, well, you chalk it up to being your first time. You learn from it. You go back out. Well, I didn't fail my first time. I think fair to say I listened to a lot of people who knew what they were doing and took their advice. Okay, great. But the second time around, that's when you really worry. God, am I going to do better than the first time? Plus, it's kind of where the rubber meets the road. Did people really enjoy issue 1? Well, you're going to find out if they don't back issue 2. So that's just running through my head yesterday, all the time. And when we finally launched on Red Gaze's shows and the numbers started going up, it was just, finally the tension, it's like the release valve got turned a little bit. Okay. And then by this afternoon, I was like, all right. And then, 2-3 days from now, when the surge of backers slows down a bit, of course, I'll probably go back to panic mode, but oh, well, that's me. All right. This is the standard cover. I just should start by saying that if you want to just purchase the digital, the PDF, that is really good. I found that's really good for people who want to, who are overseas and don't want to deal with the shipping. They seem to appreciate that. I'll
just close the door.
And this is the standard cover. You can buy a copy of that. Every physical copy will also include the digital copy, so I can get a physical copy of the standard cover. And then there is the variant cover. The standard cover was drawn and colored by David Ocampo. The variant cover is drawn by Vic King and colored by Rosetta Allen. And you can get a copy of that, or you can have the option of purchasing 2 copies, one with the standard cover and the other with the variant cover. There we go. And if you were unable to purchase Tilt the first time, no problem. I'm going to reissue Tilt 1, and this is the special reissue cover drawn by Alan C. Gray Jr. So this will be available as well. There will also be, like last time I had a deck of cards. This time I'll have another deck of cards as well. This is what's going to be on the back of the deck of cards, also drawn by Vic King and colored by Rosetta Allen. And my lovely colorist, Lenore King, did the graphics on this. And then, however, this time there are, as I mentioned earlier in the show, there are going to be custom characters, custom jacks, kings and queens. Our guest LA is working on one of the kings right now. We'll be showing you some more of that in a few minutes. But here are the two of the kings that he's already completed, the King of Hearts and the King of Spades. A really bang up job on those. And so, yeah, you'll turn the cards over, and if you got the King of Hearts, this is what you'll see. Lenore King is doing the queens. You've got the Queen of Clubs here and the Queen of Diamonds, and then the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Spades. And then finally, the jacks were done by Jeff Craven, who did my variant cover last time. And this is the Jack of Clubs and the Jack of Diamonds. And in case you don't know, the Jack of Diamonds, his weapons are called kamas, K-A-M-A. I think that's how it's pronounced, not kama, but yeah. And then the Jack of Hearts and the Jack of Spades. The Jack of Spades, his weapons are known as sikas. So FYI. Alrighty, there's also pinups that are going to be for sale, 2 for the price of 1. You've got the one on the right here was drawn by Arch Sider, who basically last time he sent me some fan art, and I liked it so much in the campaign for Tilt 1 that I decided to make it part of a stretch goal, and I wanted him to come back and do it again, and he gave us Jennifer. Well, I like for the purposes of the actual Indiegogo page, I call this Sexy Jennifer, but I actually prefer to call her Jennifer with junk in the trunk. So, and then the one on the left is drawn by LA here. And this is jiggities. And if you don't know, in poker, a jiggity is a pair of jacks. So that's one reason this is appropriate, because you have all the jacks here, and they're kind of giving Jennifer the well, you know, stealing glances. And yeah, the other reason it works is it's kind of like Glenn from Family Guy with giggity. So jiggities. Alrighty. There will also be some pinups available if we reach the first stretch goal at $6,000. By the way, my funding goal is $4,000, and the stretch goal is $6,000. Lenore King will be putting together the all of the queens plus a bonus Jennifer here if we hit the stretch goal. So this will be one pinup that will be available, and also the virgin version of the standard cover will be the other pinup. And then the $8,000, $10,000 stretch goals will be the trading cards that I'll have LA and Luke Stone work on. Also, all of these pinups will be available as are going to be available as posters. In case you don't know, a pinup is just a poster that's been folded. Well, I want to give you the opportunity to buy them as posters, not folded. I have a number of these behind me. I really like putting them in 11 by 17 frames. I think you will as well. And all of the pinups that are available in Tilt Part 2 will be available as posters. I'm going to put them in a nice 11 by 17 plastic sleeve, put in a backing board, and get it to you so without any creases or folds. And also the 3 pinups from Tilt Part 1. I still have plenty of these left over, so these will be available as well for if you decide to choose the poster add-on. And finally, there's also going to be quite a bit of original art for sale. The first one, you get 2 pieces, the original sketch and inks of the variant cover done by Vic King, and also the original colors done by Rosetta Allen. And also the art for the back of the deck of cards, again, Vic King and then Rosetta Allen, both of those are available. There is also the original art of the reissue cover by Alan Gray Jr. That is obviously sketch inked and colored, and that will be available. And then Vic King has some tribute art to John Malin's graveyard shift that he wanted me to offer as part of this. So that is available as well. And there are also will be the tiers. Right now, by the way, all of the art is as add-ons. I'm actually going to probably bring those forward as actual tiers a little later on. So if you buy those now, well, at any rate, it'll be a better deal if you wait until after the show is over and I bring those forward as tiers. So there is also a couple of tiers where you can get drawn into issue 3. One is where you'll play cards with Jennifer, and then you will get whacked. The the Jack of Hearts will be your demise. And you can also be a thug. This will be a thug who is a friend of the thug who attacks Jennifer. And this thug will be kind of egging him on. And then Jennifer will be able to grab one of the cards, bring the Jack to life, and the Jack will kind of come to her rescue and give these thugs their just desserts. You will give up some information that Jennifer needs, and then you will get whacked. There's also one where you can be a mob hitman's friend or girlfriend. So if you're a female fan and you want to get drawn into the comic, this is a great opportunity to do so. You will also give up info to Jennifer that she needs, and you will maybe survive. But not without some damage. There might be a finger or two missing. And this final one be the Spirit of Chaos. Sorry, folks, there was one of those, and that has been taken. So that one is no longer available. So I would hurry, and if you want to get drawn into issue 3, I would jump on these other ones. Okay, I think that's pretty much it on that. Again, the link to Tilt 2 is in the description below. And let's go back to, LA, do you have your drawn up?
Yeah, but for whatever reason, every time that I go to share screen, it mutes me and freezes. I mean, we could try it again.
Yeah, let's give it another shot, and you can just go ahead and draw, and Alexander and I will chat for a bit, and then you
can show the current image. What I would recommend doing is taking a screen cap of your desktop. If you're on Windows, you can use the snipping tool. You can email that, and then you should be able to, I guess, either if you can share your screen, you can try it that way, or email it to one of us, and we can share our view of that screen capped JPEG, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we could do that. It's just that people want to see him actually add some lines and draw it as well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was a good thought though. So yeah, go ahead and share it, and we'll just watch you draw for a few minutes. Hello? LA, are you there? Man. Well, at least we got to watch him draw for a few minutes.
Yeah, I definitely. I heard about 60%.
If you want to go,
so I'll try to share my screen again. I just think it's
Well, we'll just do it for a few minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Yeah, it's not there. It's not in my screen. Okay. Well, Alexander, was there anything else you wanted to say about Chromosome 96?
I thought that the second 2 books were a definite improvement. The art style was what kept me going back. Because I was always looking to see what the artist would do next. It was a very, very visceral ride, but it really it had the mark of something that was done by someone who loved what they were doing. It was not a by the numbers comic, and I really so I really enjoyed it. Of the comics that I've read thus far, this is one of the ones that made me go "Ooh, I want to see what happens next." I read those 2 essentially back to back.
Okay, well, hopefully LA will be back in here we go. Wonderful. Hello again. Nice to
Yeah,
have you back.
yeah. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, do you think you'll be able to share the screen, or is it pretty much?
Every time I try to share it, it's an absolute disaster. So I'll give it another try, but it's just been a disaster. So
Yeah. Okay.
share screen. You guys hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you just fine.
And something here to add to the stream, but it's not bringing up the picture just yet. So, all right. Well, I'm going to try and add it to the stream here.
Okay.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And give it a few seconds. Do 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 do. Reminds me of Saturday Night Live versions of Jeopardy with who was the guy that played Sean Connery on all those ones? Ah, there we go. Wonderful, wonderful.
Wait. What decade was this? I'm not sure.
I think it was the last decade, but it's worth going on like YouTube and finding some of them because they are hysterical, absolutely hysterical.
I was never really that much of a Saturday Night Live person.
Nah.
I mean, I did grow up. I did grow up listening to NPR, but after a certain point, it's like even when I was in the school in '90s and 2000s, I never heard my friends going, "Hey, Alex, did you know what was on Saturday Night or Letterman last night?" I mean,
that was the thing is when I was around 12 or 13, that was the big thing for the guys to be able to stay up that late on Saturday night and watch Saturday Night Live. And, eventually I eventually kind of wore my parents down and got them to let me do it. And that was, just a big thing. And I kind of grew up on it for a number of years.
Wow.
But that was in the early 80s. So things just not working out tonight.
Yeah, I've no clue. It's kind of odd because like it's on and off, but again, the thing about what's frustrating about it is I'm glad I didn't launch. I wanted to launch my mailing list for my book this Halloween because it's a vampire, zombie, and werewolf based book. But I gotta figure this out before I launch because I'll need to do a lot of promo.
Yeah. Well, tell us just a little bit more about your book. What's the title?
It's called Bad Blood.
All right.
And my main character is a werewolf. His name is Wrath. And basically what it is normally in books, you have humans trying to control the creation of creatures or monsters or things of that nature. This is the opposite. My monsters are running the organization to try to create more chaos and more monsters because they want everyone to be like them.
Interesting.
They want to feel safe. They want to rule the world. And it's the opposite of normally what it is, because normally there's some mischievous organization that wants to create something. No, these are monsters themselves that are running the organization called Trigen. Short for trigenetics.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll definitely have to have you back on the show when that thing launches, so you can talk a little bit about it. Yeah, well, sounds good. Okay, well, we got to see a little bit of drawing, which was good, and got to see LA talk a little bit about his art there, and I can't wait till the image is finished, and we'll have to try this again. Sorry it didn't work out as well as we'd hoped, but those things do happen. All righty, just one more time here. Let's again, Tilt 2, we are at almost, let me refresh and see if we've had any luck. Yeah! Woo! All right.
Congratulations.
Nah. Woohoo. All right.
Congratulations. Wow. Wonderful.
Awesome.
I'm happy for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Well, 1,014 now, over 25%. Boy, it's been a great first day. Thank you to all the backers out there. And let's do a little more to end on a high note here. Little more Steve.
Well, it's Karen's first.
A little more Steve.
Well, it's Karen's first day out of quarantine, going to the gym, and now getting a taste of gravel. Now gonna have to probably visit the dentist. Let's take a quick look at the replay. You can see Karen right here is finally out of quarantine, getting that opportunity to work out, but exhibits too much confidence and pays the ultimate price here tonight. Now she's gonna go have to pay a dentist. Oh, well, it's Karen's first.
And this last one here.
Gonads get jacked up. Apparently Chaz is all jacked up on Mountain Dew, and now his gonads get jacked up as he gets tossed.
Hey, that looks like
The depths of hell. The hell did he go?
Yeah.
Now smashed his egg roll right there on the first
My stupid game, my stupid prizes. That was like
It certainly could be the Metro at DuPont Circle.
Apparently Chaz is all
no, wait.
Dew, and now his gonads get jacked up as he gets tossed into the.
It's not DuPont.
What did you say?
These ceilings look like that. It's not DuPont.
Okay.
Yeah, Amir, I'm gonna How would I best get in contact with you?
I'll forward you his email. Will that work?
Yeah, well, I normally use email for client work, but because I unless a client is telling me they're sending me something, I don't check my email a whole lot. So Twitter.
Okay. All right, definitely. Yeah. Your work is really, really good, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Good to have you aboard. We're actually going to be ending it here, but thanks everyone who showed up, and we'll be back. We'll be running the stream on Wednesday next week. I'll have John Hervey as my kind of both guest and co-host, and Lenore will be coloring a page from Tilt. So do come back, same time, 8 p.m., but it will be Wednesday, October 28th. Alrighty. Okay. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your evening.